Namaste. Myself Dr. Vidya Hadagali, Assistant Professor, Department of History, Sri Halli Government First Grade College, Annigeri, District Dharwad, State Karnataka. Today I am going to present a seminar on Gender Sensitive Energy Policy for Sustainable Development. Energy is central to current concerns about sustainable human development. The reliable energy supply is recognized as being essential to economic stability and growth, jobs, and improved living standards. Approximately 2 billion people in the world still lack access to basic energy services. The need and demand for energy services is expected to increase dramatically, more particularly in developing countries like India. As a reaction to that, new policies and projects to provide energy services in developing countries will be developed, which is need of an hour. While developing these policies, it is important to be aware of another concern of the sustainable development gender energy policy. Women are the primary users of energy equipment in many years. So it makes good sense for them to be involved in designing and implementing projects to meet their own energy needs. But women traditionally tend to have limited decision making power about household purchases, including energy policies and projects. Women already have valuable knowledge about local conditions and resources. Additional education of women and women's organizations about energy options and technologies can increase their ability. Energy options and technologies can increase their ability to contribute to energy solutions, including the adoption of new, cleaner fuels and equipment. Women who learn new skills and obtain improved access to energy for household and income generating activities can create new resources for investing in better conditions for themselves, their families, and their communities. A gender aware policy is a policy which takes into account the social relations of women and men as well as differences in their needs with environmental impact consideration. Why gender sensitive energy policy? Men and women have different roles in society, do different types of works, have different access to and power over resources, and therefore they have different needs. Between the different needs of human beings, a distinction can be made between strategic needs and practical needs. Practical gender needs are needs women and men have coherent to their roles in society. Changes in the availability of energy due to policy interventions have different impacts on men and women. Therefore, gender needs to be taken into account when developing energy policy to overcome gender gap. Government should try to integrate gender into their energy policy. What can be done to create gender sensitive energy policies? In order to design and implement energy policies that directly support poverty reduction and sustainable development goals, continued efforts will be required by national and local government institutions to reflect and address the distinct energy needs and conditions faced by men and women. Because women at large are the primary end users and managers of energy in the home. And in rural areas, a policy which is based on an interactive process directly informed by women and men and their perspective needs, interests, and knowledge. Women and men should directly influence policy by being involved and represented at the policy research, planning, and implementation levels. But present policy information made only with consult of technocrats and macroeconomists on energy matters, which leads to inconsistency between the government's goals and women's needs, like women's refusal to use the Improve Stoves project for several reasons in India. There are several approaches towards energy planning, of which the integrated energy planning is one. The integrated energy planning as the analysis of energy demand and supply within an integrated framework. Integrated energy planning is a process whereby the physical energy needs of all sectors of economy are planned in coherence. Gender mainstreaming in energy policy. Gender mainstreaming is a process to ensure that the concerns and needs of both women and men are considered in all planning and policy making, and that all policy makers are aware of the needs of women and men and their roles and responsibilities with full participation. And policy should recognize women's role in the energy provision and use and their energy needs with integrated energy planning approach. Another name used for this approach is gender and development. Conditions for realizing a gender aware energy policy. If the condition is particularly framework, then the elements are number of women working in energy sector, participation of women's movements in the political arena. If the condition is methodological framework, the elements are gender disaggregated data, tools and gender analytical methods. Existence of a gender policy and or affirmative action policy, policy formulation and implementation, integration of gender into energy policy. If the condition is institutional framework, then the element is existence of a national machinery for women. Financial framework is condition, then the element is gender budgeting, the allocation of resources to gender issues. The conclusion: when describing the relation between gender and energy, a need towards more gender awareness in the energy sector was identified. In current energy policy, gender issues is receiving less attention. To overcome this, energy policy makers should try to mainstream gender issues. A gender aware energy policy should therefore ensure that the energy needs and energy concerns of both men and women are considered. Secondly, mainstreaming gender into energy policy is to increase the participation of women and men in the sector. As household managers, women are primary consumers and providers of the household energy. To react on women's energy needs and concerns and to react on their demand. The government should consult those women and to let them participate in order to formulate and energy policy that reflects their demands, their energy demands. Women fulfill a triple role in society, namely a productive, reproductive, and a community role. They will have energy needs according to those roles, like cooking, energy for income generating activities, lighting, etc. Genderizing energy policy is multidimensional since gender and energy have different aspects like social, economical, political, legal, cultural, etc. Thank you.